Hello everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoring Guys, bringing my guide for Dante's Inferno on Infernal difficulty. Today we are doing part 6, entitled Anger. Not to be confused with Violence that shows up later, which, you know, I always kind of just thought this one was named Wrath or something, but I don't know, I always get these ones mixed up with like the 7 Deadly Sins and what have you. I mean, they're pretty much like the same in terms of the 7 Deadly Sins, but there's a few different ones here, and there's like a couple more, like 2 more different types of circles than 7, so I don't know. Anyway, starting off in this particular level, we're going to be dealing with, of course, the Glutton Worms. I do want to say real quick that the Greed guys that we fought in the last chapter, not these guys, but the ones that spin around, those are called Hoarder Wasters. And then the bigger demons with the armor, those are called Throne Demons. And then the ones with the wings that we meet later on in Violence, those ones have a different name. I think it starts with an M. I kind of forgot the name of it, but yeah. Those ones, they're annoying for sure, but I think I'll probably just end up calling them Archdemons or something like that, or Archdemons. I can never pronounce that correctly. I always feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. But anyway, so first fight, nothing too hard. It's just mainly just Glutton Worms, and then, of course, the small little Greed minions. And other than that, yeah, pretty easy start. This level is surprisingly not as hard as I thought it was going to be, considering the fact that the giant guardian of this circle of hell in general, whose name I can't pronounce very well, so I'm just not going to bother with it. We'll just call him like the big guy, I guess you could say. The big guardian guy. The one that you ride on in the River Styx. I know his name, it's just like I have trouble pronouncing it because I suck, so I don't want to make myself look silly. I do that anyway. I'm playing Dante's Inferno on Inferno. What more do you want from me? But yeah. Basically, I kind of figured that fight, you know, when he's basically trying to fight you at the same time while doing something else, would be incredibly difficult, and I found ways around making it not so difficult. So, well, that's why this video is here, because I figured something out. What a surprise. And, yeah, I'm going to leave Virgil in here because I believe this is the time when he actually talks to you and gives you a relic for once. So, awfully quite nice of him to finally give us one again. So, it looks like my ranged attacks with cross attacks do extra damage or something like that. I don't know. I didn't read that one quick enough. But it's weird because, like, we already have a relic that does extra damage via cross attacks anyway. So yeah, we're just gonna make our way across this. Whenever I'm climbing this particular section, I get vibes from like God of War 2 when you're doing what's that area where you see I think it's the Cyclops spawners fight the first time. Also, these are like a new version of the Wisps. These are different types of, these are like anger hell minions or whatever. So these ones have a very annoying ability where they can pretty much just turn into black smoke. And then once they get close to you or whenever they feel like attacking, they'll eventually turn into their real self and then, you know, give themselves away and then try to damage you. And they have an annoying fire blast, as you can see there. However, there is something fun you can do to them to stop them from being inside the black smoke, and that's using Divine Armor. I got that from a different YouTube video, but I can't remember the name of who it was off the top of my head. But I will say this. I did not come up with that idea. That was something I found watching somebody else play Infernal, and I cannot for the life of me remember who it was. This was a while ago, so I do apologize for not having the name, but that's just how it is. Also, this thing sucks. Trying to hit this with like a very strange camera is really hard. Sometimes it hits, and sometimes it just doesn't. It's really weird. Also, do be careful. Don't fall into the swamp. Not only will Shrek get you, but you'll die. So you don't want that. That's like an instant kill. Which is kind of jarring for games from like back then compared to now. It's because like games nowadays, if this game came out nowadays, you'd fall right in the pit and come right back and have like a small amount of health done to you for damage, and that's about it. Actually, you know what? This is completely out of nowhere, I know, but I just all of a sudden got in the mood to want to play Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1. Because I've never beaten it on very hard, ever. I think I might have attempted it once, but I never have gone through it. But I don't know why it popped in my head. However, I will tell you guys this: I am Now recording something else besides Transformers. I decided to not do Transformers for the third playthrough. Not right now, anyway. I think it's probably for the best. Just kind of wait it out and then, you know, go back into it later. It's not God of War I'm doing next, and... You know I said in the last video I didn't really want to spoil it, but I can't confirm if it's going to actually be finished or not, because this is one of those guides where it's less of a guide and actually it's a no upgrade run, so it's going to be kind of difficult to do. And I want to make sure that I'm able to do it, but I'll just tell you guys right now, because I did already kind of spoil it anyway in one of my posts I've made, which will probably be gone because I did make a poll, but you know, it's fine. I'll say it here. It's basically Splatterhouse. I want to go through the Splatterhouse reboot, no upgrade run, and I asked on a poll, like, is it okay if I can use the rage meter and if I can use the healing ability, because those are not upgrades I purchased. Those are those aren't even upgrades. They're just abilities you unlock that the game gives you. So, and it seemed like majority of people that at the time voted that it was completely okay. They said, yeah, go ahead, that's fine. And, you know, massive respect to those that did vote for it, though. You've got balls, like big balls. As in, like, there was nothing, you know, on the line, of course, but what I mean is you're just awesome, because, you know, that's a huge lifesaver, and I assume that those people that did vote probably understand. There's a possibility they might understand what Splatterhouse is, and, you know, you probably know how difficult it can be in some cases. But yeah, we'll leave that for when we get to, of course, the no upgrade run. Now, as you guys can no doubt tell, I'm basically just doing the same thing I do pretty much for majority of these fights here, and that's practically just use cross attacks from a distance and just kind of just destroy the Throne Demon, because this is the guy that is just a pain in the ass, and that's why I usually run cross attacks on him, just because even if he's using his shield, I don't get that retaliation or that parry from him that he'll try to do to me. So it kind of makes it much easier to deal with. Also, I just finally bought my last redemption cell, and I'm just going to fill that up as much as I can. Don't use redemption meter as much. If you're going to be the type that's going to... if you do happen to rely on redemption meter, I can throw you a piece of advice here. Don't upgrade the redemption bar to get the next 2 upgrades until, like, way later. That way, if you want to use the redemption meter, you only need to use, like, the 1 bar, and then you won't waste all 3, because you can't turn the dang thing off, so... It's unfortunate that you can't, but that's just how the rules of the game seem to be. Not much I can do about that. Although it's funny, I bitch and complain about, like, you know, modern games doing this, that, and the other, which... That's not always a bad thing, by the way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Falling off in pits. It depends. I'm just saying, like, you know, if this game particularly was made, then it would be a different story. But, something that, give me just a second. I'm trying to think of what I lost my train of thought. That's probably going to piss a lot of people off. I know, I'm thinking as hard as I can. So I was talking about, what was I talking about? No, it wasn't upgrade things. It was something else. It was something mechanically, right? It was something about... Oh, God, I need to go back and watch this video again to make sure. I just lost it. I just lost it. Come on. Why do I do this? Ah, it's pissing me off. It's going to bother me now. Oh, the redemption meter. Yeah, okay. So redemption meter. If this game was made nowadays, you'd have the ability to turn it on and off. And it was funny because, like, I was bitching about this game being made nowadays and would have the game be easier on you for certain instances, but at the same time... redemption meter literally being not allowed to be turned off is just a weird thing, considering the fact that God of War 2 had come out and allowed you to turn off that rage meter. However, I guess you could say, like, this is a case of maybe they want to make this game a little bit more like God of War 1, possibly. I don't know. I'm not complaining that the redemption meter is not turned off or not. I could technically care less. And plus, on the bright side, it does kind of make the game just a tad bit harder, because it kind of forces you to try to strategize a little bit more and know when and where to kind of use your redemption meter. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. Also, you can throw these guys at the blockades right there if you wanted to. You don't need to destroy all 3 of these, by the way, but you can do it if you want. Also, you have plenty of time for the most part to do whatever you want, so Oh yeah, did I explain did I explain the divine armor thing very well with the black smoke enemies, the hell minions? I don't know if I did or not, but basically, if they're inside black smoke and you use divine armor, you can actually put them into stone immediately right after. Man, I really gotta be better at this guide thing, you know, about explaining things, but it's just my train of thought that always just kind of just falters, like all the time. So I think of so many different things at once, and then it's just hell. Which we're in right now. I think these guys don't infinitely spawn, but I'm not sure. But to make my life easier, of course, you know, as you saw, I'd use Divine Armor to get through this. I think at this point in the game, I believe I have Divine Armor 3. I think I have 3 by at least 2. I'll have to check my upgrades again, but either way, it should be just enough to kind of get you through it. So again, just to kind of reiterate things, and for those that haven't actually watched the previous chapters or anything like that, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting Divine Armor Magic. It's good. It's really good. So I would, you know, like I said, I would definitely recommend that. Speaking of recommendations, I don't know how interested you folks might be into, like, you know, music or whatever. Like, everybody likes music, of course, I'm sure, but this is one of those random times of things that I would recommend. But I just, while recording Splatterhouse, I was listening to other music. I know it's bizarre. I mean, the game has good music already, but I played it a lot, so I've kind of just, you know, listened to, like, very few songs. And it, yeah, Virgil doesn't give me anything here, so just ignore this one. And the thing I recommend is this new thing I found. It's called Chikoi, as in Chikoi, the Maid. Chikoi the Maid. I found this, and it's actually pretty good music. There's no, like, singing or anything as far as I'm aware. I listened to, like, a couple of their albums just while playing, and I found it recently, and I was like, huh, damn, alright, cool. And of course, another band that might be known, I don't know, but I know this is a person that does their own stuff, which I think is actually pretty cool and very respectful. Respectful? What am I trying to say? I respect their work a lot, I should say that. Blue Stolly, that's another band person, because, like, he does everything himself, and I think that's really dope and badass, actually. I think that's cool. And I assume that this Chikoi probably does the same. Also, during the sticks, you're going to be attacked by pests. Just basically cross attacks and you know, grab them, throw them, that kind of thing. It's not too difficult. You can die here, but even if you do, you just go back to the beginning of the sticks. But yeah, here's the main demon guardian of this circle of hell. It starts with a P. It's like Plagueis or something like that. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, so that's why I just really shouldn't try and butcher names. But yeah, for the most part, this is just kind of just the same old shtick once again as usual. And then after you complete this, you get like a free refill of both health and magic for the most part. At least I believe it's a full refill, because at this point I'm not using mana, so I don't think it really you know, matters what magic I get back from it. Something else I want to talk about. Oh, yes. So, in the recent news, as recent as news of this is, and this is going to be dated incredibly quickly, I'm sure, we found out that Markiplier, which, you know, I don't talk about most people's other YouTube channels on here, but seems like he's doing a movie about Iron Lung, as in, like, the horror game that was, like, an indie horror game that I guess people really liked, I guess. And I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was, you know, the greatest thing ever made, but, you know, hey, it is what it is, right? You know, respect to indie games, of course, because I definitely respect the grind that those would probably take to work on, because game development is hard as shit. But anyway, so they're making a movie, and they got Andrew Hulshult, of all people, to show up and do the music for it, and he's the guy that's, like, behind the music for, like, Dusk and a few other games, and he also did some music for Doom Eternal, for the, what was it, the DLC. But anyway, we should try to talk about the guide now. So this part might seem like it's gonna be hard. Like, it's gonna gradually get harder as we go through these waves, these arenas, I should say that instead. And yeah, I guess technically the waves, because now the Hoarder and Wasters have showed up. But there's something I want to tell you guys about, and that's using the Guardian to your advantage, using the big giant demon to your advantage. And this is the time when I finally found out that I can do this new infinite loop ability, which, you know, is just the, you know, triangle R2, throwing them on the ground, and then pressing square when you're getting too far up. That way you can continue or re-continue the loop. So keep that in mind if you're, you know, going through this game or whatever. That's something you can do, of course. Again, if you want to play via, you know, combo style, there's always that, but that was the choice. I didn't take this path. Maybe some other time. Maybe I should actually go back to this game at some point and just try it without using... I guess you could call them... They're basically cheese. I mean, yeah, they are. But I like to call them strategies, you know, because... Yeah, that's... Yeah, we'll just say that. I like to call them strategies. It doesn't matter. You play how you want, you know, of course. I'm not going to tell anybody not to or whatever. But yeah, you can use the giant guardian guy himself as a way to destroy enemies. And we're going to be using that pretty much around this part. Because as you can see, when he does that slam attack... And that's the only attack he does right now. That's the only one he does right now. At least until we get to the point where we get to the next arena. And then he's going to start doing like an pretty much just completely insta-kill fire blast attack. It's really annoying. So, as you can see, of course, the fist slams on the, you know, on the ground and completely wipes out all the enemies. Now, the fun part of it is when the hand goes back up and retracts, you know, or not retracts, but when it goes back up and just goes back, well, whatever, when he lifts his hand up, that's basically when the hitbox is still active and it will pretty much just hurt any other demons in the way and typically does an insta-kill. So, that's something to kind of keep in mind if you want to use that to your advantage. And I'm, at this point in time, you know, unfortunately he's looking away and he's just fighting off who the hell knows what else. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he's fighting off anything else, but I assume he's probably punishing people, if anything. Maybe, I don't know if that's his job to do here, but basically he's just busy doing other things. But gameplay-wise, I think it's just to kind of give you a sense of challenge, like you can't rely on him too much. Because that's possibly what they were probably trying to go for, but yeah. If you're getting stuck with this part, Divine Armor works great. Using the cheese tactic works great, and using cross attacks against the Temptresses also works great because they're rather annoying. They're just really, really irritating to deal with. And of course, oh, now I got Divine Armor 3, nice. They're really irritating to deal with, and you could just, you know, once you learn parries pretty well, then they sort of become a little easier to take care of, but they're still just, you know, every once in a while really irritating to deal with. I was going to say something, but I kind of forgot what it was. Oh, I have Chiako's Bile on it. I have Chiako's Bile equipped, which allows you to have mana regeneration. And I think I have it level 2, maybe level 1. If you actually fast forward through the video, you can actually see the magic itself going, like, refreshing. It's interesting. It's relatively slow-ish, but it's just enough to where, like, having mana regeneration is everything. It's key in this game. It practically is. It allows you to get your Divine Armor, you know, as much as you need to. And that's going to help a lot. You know, that's going to help big time, especially against, you know, the final boss fight where you pretty much just kind of almost have to rely on Divine Armor for, like, a good portion of it. It's ridiculous how incredibly tough it is. But yeah, it was either level 2 now or it's level 3 now. It's one of the two, but we finally got it upgraded, and that's great. And yeah, just grab your mana back, you know, if you've used any, of course. Grab the fountains, do all that stuff. Something else about Infernal mode is I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, Infernal mode makes it to where whenever you're going to use a magic fountain to get magic back, you don't get a ton back. You don't get like a full bar of it like you used to. If that ever was the case. That I can't remember off the top of my head, but because it's been like a couple of weeks when I've been doing this, and it's been taking me a while to record these videos because my computer's been kind of funky lately. The last video that I rendered on this computer, my old computer, is it took me 5.5 hours to do, and I need to get, like, you know, some better software on my new computer at some point, but I'm just lazy as shit, so I can't complain. I shouldn't have to complain. I'm being dumb. That's my own fault, my own stupidity, but I'm fine with it because it gave me time to kind of like do other things and, you know, play Splatterhouse, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, this next and last arena is probably going to be the toughest one. I would argue I think it is just the toughest one. And starting off, you're going to be dealing with, I think, might have been a couple of Temptresses at first. I killed them so quickly I didn't notice. Either that or it might have been the greed minions. I wasn't paying too much attention. But once, you've killed all them off, you kill off a couple Guardians, and at this point I'm kind of just trying to get my Unholy up to at least level 5, level 6 as well. I think like level 5-ish. Because I believe I'm trying to get a 3rd relic slot or 4th relic slot. This part is pretty fun. What you can do in this section, I just want to mention this real quick. If you wanted to keep them alive, to use them for like, holy or unholy or whatever, then what you can do is you can run up and then hold down the triangle button or the heavy attack button and lift them in the air, and that way they can just avoid that shot outright. But make sure you do, of course, jump over that laser beam because that's insta-kill. However, this game is relatively nice about checkpoints, and they give you a checkpoint, I think, right around the time when you pull down the lever, I think so. So, yeah. But it looks like I finally got Unholy upgraded, and now I decided to equip the 3rd relic slot. I don't know why I keep thinking there's not a 4th one. I don't know. I don't know when I figured that out. Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said that it took me a while to remember. So, yeah. I make a lot of mistakes. But that's okay, because guess what? We made it through most of this game without it. And plus, we made it through most of this game without DLC, too. And it's great. You can do it. You really can. It's truly possible. It's strangely not that difficult. I mean, you'll definitely make your life a lot easier if you had it, but I don't think it's necessary. And I don't think any game should ever have to require you to have to buy DLC just to beat it. That seems ridiculous in my opinion. For a hard mode, I should say, or just any mode really. I think that just would be just ridiculous, honestly, just kind of silly. And for some reason my brain's trying to think of one that does, but then I can't off the top of my head. Now, when I say require, I guess I should just say I don't think a game should make it to where it's almost, you get pushed in the corner to the point where you pretty much just, you're tempted to or whatever, or it just like has such a huge increase in whatever it is that helps you out. I guess if anything, there's also like the complaint about like DLC for like Devil May Cry and stuff, where you can unlock blue orbs by paying money. But I don't know, that's neither here nor there, I guess. That's a whole different can of worms. Because in my opinion, I think like if you were to buy the blue orbs yourself, I don't think it matters. I mean, yeah, it takes it away from being able to do all the secret missions, but unless you're trying to do a guide or something to get the secret missions to finish them, then I don't see any point or any true trouble. But yeah, this part, you can just use iframes to your advantage to kind of like just watch out for like certain attacks or whatever, and also if you want these guys dead, just wait for him to do his laser attack, that kind of thing. You'll notice when he's about to do it because he'll start roaring or whatever, and there you go. But yeah, I just want to finish off my thing I was talking about with blue orbs is you actively have to go find them and explore it. So like if you want to take that away from yourself, that's fine, I guess, but I don't see anything completely wrong with it, but I can understand where the problems could lie, especially if you're doing a guide. But at the same time, if you're doing a guide, you're probably just trying to do a guide to beat the game and show people how to beat it. And I've never collected all the blue orbs from DMC myself in DMC4. I've never completed a full health kit before, I don't think, in any of them, because I always fuck up the secret missions and stuff. But even then, still, I would just beat the game without that full stack of max health. That's just my own. That's my own priority personally. I wouldn't want to buy into it. If I did, I'd tell you guys. I'd tell you. I don't want to. I don't try to keep guide secrets or anything like that on this channel by any means. Nope. This is bare ass all out in the open. So I'm just telling you how I do things. I'm showing you how I do things, and if they're newbie, if they're cheesy, then that's just what they are. And there's no going back because I already started. So, and I gotta finish. because I would cry if I deleted a guide. That'd be painful. That's why I just nowadays, instead of just uploading it as I do it, I instead finish the playthrough first and then upload it to make sure for a fact that I can do it. Now with Transformers, like, I know I could have done it. It's just I was trying too hard to be flashy, and I was trying too hard to be too good at the game, and trying to show off different things, and it was just too much. I should have just focused on making a guide, but I've done the game 3 times, so it was just one of those things. Anyway, coming up here, I think we get like a small little fight. And there's like not much to it. It's just, I think, these 3 guys, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, we're pretty much practically done with this video. So, I'd like to say, thanks for watching. And as always, take care, everybody.